Welcome back to our Dump It series. I'm Mindy Turner with the Curry County Cooperative Extension Service, your family and consumer science agent. So for this month, we are talking about recipes where we can just pull out pre-made, fixed ahead, save ourselves some time and energy on the cooking front and put together meals and things that we can share and serve our family. So that's where the dump it part comes from. Things that we can just dump in the pan. Last time we talked about some different soups, things we could do. This time we're gonna talk more that casserole type of situation. And again, gonna be some things, some staple things that you can have on hand that you can keep in the house, buy it when it's on sale and have it around and then just pull it out to throw something together. Or if you're having that kind of a plan, maybe you meal prep or you make a plan and we can figure out, oh, well, we can use chicken in this, we can use chicken in this, we can use ground beef in this, we can use ground beef in this. And so then as we meal prep and plan ahead, we have those things ready to go. So again, like we talked last time, these are gonna be things I'm gonna show you today, the recipes specifically putting them into the pan where we can pop them in the oven and cook them up. You could do any of these things in your crock pot if you wanted to set it up, leave it there and just go on about your business. If you're an Instapot user, these are things you could definitely arrange to fit and put into your Instapot and cook it a little quicker that way. So we're gonna talk a little bit again, some of the staples. And when we talk about casseroles and putting dishes together, we have to be very careful because it's really easy to get everything layered in there and be like, oh, I have all the food groups, I'm doing great, and not realize how much extra fat, salt, all that sodium, things that we've added to that dish. So as we talk about what you can use and how to put things together, just remember you can adapt and switch all of these recipes to fit whatever your specific recommended diet happens to be, or the things you know your family will eat. Typically within a casserole, we wanna have a protein of some kind, but we also need some type of a base, which is usually a carb. We can substitute out for a lot of these things, whether it's substituting in cauliflower for our potatoes or our rice. There's even zucchini rice now. So there's a lot of options and things out there that if we need to lower the carbs or we need to lower the fat content, we can pay attention to what we're adding into our dish and make sure that we're doing that. Okay, so let's start off. This is gonna be a chicken broccoli bake. Okay, yummy, yummy stuff. Reminiscent of that time, again, this is something we talked last time that you could make with leftover turkey from the holidays, or even just sometimes we just want to have turkey and we have a lot of turkey, right? Because the turkey is a big thing. These would be great, again, to section off, to freeze individual servings, or maybe you're just feeding 2 people and you're gonna eat half and freeze half, that you can pull out in the next 2 or 3 weeks and have that dish again. That saves again on your time, your energy, and what you're putting into preparing those meals. So I talked a little bit last time. What I did when I was shopping, I looked for the things and really cost compared as to what was there. Some things we purchased the store brand because that was the least expensive option for a very similar product. Compare your labels, see what you've got, what you're looking at. And in some cases, we bought the name brand because it was on sale and that made it a better purchase, cheaper than, more fiscally responsible, I guess we should say, than purchasing the store brand or something else. So what we have today, we're gonna do a chicken broccoli bake. This is rotisserie chicken. In our soup, we used some canned chicken. Again, I mentioned leftovers can be great. So this was a rotisserie chicken that I just cut the chicken off the bone, shredded it up. You can also sometimes find the chicken already shredded or already removed from the bone. It's gonna be a little more expensive to purchase it that way. So just remember, when we want to save on our time, sometimes we're paying for someone else's time. So it's that balance of thinking about financially, our time as a resource, as well as our money as a resource, and how we need to balance those two things. So again, this was just rotisserie chicken. We've got it all shredded up. And so in this bowl, we're gonna add about a cup, maybe a little more. These are just broccoli florets. These were frozen. Okay, they're thawed now, but so we're just gonna add those straight in, already chopped, already cut. I didn't have to do anything with the broccoli except take it out of the bag. This is, we're gonna see if I can get it out of the can. This is just broccoli cheese soup. This is the real deal because when I went, they didn't have, other than the name brands on the shelf, they didn't have a generic or a lesser expensive option. So that I just bought one. Now, knowing and wanting to prepare this recipe, it's something that I would watch for, and when it's on sale, I might buy 2 or 3 to have in my cupboard to prepare these types of recipes. Again, things with a long shelf life, just be sure you're looking at those expiration dates and know what you're getting and rotating those things within your cabinet. It's very disheartening to have to throw things out because we've missed that expiration point. We got a really good deal on it, but then we never used it. So that's the point where we want to make sure that we're getting that covered. Okay, so chicken, broccoli, let me switch utensils here. And broccoli cheese soup. And then we are gonna put this, we're gonna get it all mixed together so the soup is kind of covering everything. And then I have, this is just a regular 9x13 pan. I did use some spray to keep, because we're not gonna want everything to stick to the bottom when we put it in there. You can also make this on a baking sheet if that's your preference, and spread it out. You'll have a little thinner type casserole to cut into pieces. Okay, and I think I forgot to mention we want to preheat our oven to 350 when we're ready to make this, if we're going to bake it now. This, again, what I really like about all of these and the casserole dish is that we can put it together, cover it with foil, put it in the fridge, and pull it out the next day or the next day if we're going traveling or we want to send it to someone who maybe needs, we're just dropping off a meal, somebody's got a new baby, hey, here's a casserole, you can pop in the oven whenever you want. We do recommend anything like that we do, we don't want to keep it more than about 3 days, okay, just in the fridge, just for food safety purposes. So I'm trying to get my chunks of chicken smashed down. So we're just gonna take that and spread it all over the bottom of our pan. And then the topping we're gonna use for this is prepared dressing stuffing. I purchased cornbread stuffing because that's my preference. You can get whatever flavor type your family likes. This was in the box. I did have to prepare this to be able to use it in the recipe. I popped it in the microwave. The instructions are on the box to do that. But you can also purchase in a lot of the grocery stores now in that prepared food section, there's already dressing made, or in the frozen, there's trays of dressing that you can just thaw that's already ready that you would just cook it. And so you can do it any of those ways to simplify it. Or again, something maybe, oh, I purchased this and I'm not gonna use it for what I thought I was. What else can I do with it? So this might be another option to do that. So then we're just gonna take our dressing and we're gonna spread that over the top. It doesn't have to be solid. To do that, just get it where it's kind of over that. Okay, again, lots of colors, lots of flavors. It's coming together very nicely, pretty simple, easy to put together. Now, this last step, if you don't want to, maybe you don't have cheese eaters or it's just not a preference in your house, a lot of casseroles and dishes will have added cheese. So just remember when you think about that, low-fat cheese does not melt as well, but it is a great option. Or maybe we just skip the cheese because we don't want the added fat or the added within there. We in Hearty County like to support our dairy farmers, so we want to make sure that we add those dairy products to things that we're cooking. So we're just going to sprinkle that cheese on top. Okay, and then we're going to pop this into and so everything in here is cooked. So what we're gonna wanna do is just heat it through. Make sure it gets done all the way. So we're gonna pop this into that 350 oven with foil on the top. We're gonna have it covered. We're gonna let it bake for about 20 minutes. Then we're gonna take that top off and stick it back in there for another 10 or so to make sure it heats through and our cheese melts nicely without burning for us. So that's one option of some pretty simple. We had our can of soup, we had some frozen broccoli, we had already cooked chicken, and we put all of that together to make our dish. This is super fun. Again, something that can very easily go in the crock pot. We're gonna make some beef tips. I love to go out to eat and have beef tips somewhere, nice, good, tender meat with that great gravy added to it. This is super simple. This is about 2 pounds of beef stew meat. If you have beef stew, or if you have beef, your own beef in your freezer that you can pull out and use, or you can purchase it in the store. If you watch for sales, sometimes they'll have buy one, get one free, buy one, get one half price. You can actually watch for this, keep that in the freezer, and then pull it out and thaw when you're ready to put that together. Or maybe pork stew meat is what's on sale. You could adapt and switch that out if you don't have the beef. So it's about 2 pounds. We are going to add a packet of just brown gravy mix. Now again, this was very inexpensive. This was about 60 cents. So we're gonna put that in there, and note, we're putting all of this directly into the one pan that we're gonna cook it in. So we've added that. This is actually the beefy onion soup seasoning. You could just use the regular onion soup seasoning, or if that's not something that you're a fan of that flavor, you might try substituting out some other type of a seasoning packet and just see what your preference is and what you like the best. Okay, this again is one of our cream soups to help us make that gravy. This one is just cream of mushroom. Again, something that's gonna last. The shelf life on these is a long time, at least a year usually, if you pay attention to what you're purchasing. So you'll be able to buy those when they are on sale. That's a great money savings for us. And then because it thickens things, it makes things a little more hearty, it makes our dish go a little further for the people that we're serving. And then we're gonna add what comes out to be a can full of water. So of course that's gonna help us get more of that soup out of the inside of our can and match us up so that we have 1 part soup, 1 part water. So then we're just gonna take this whole deal and mix it up. So the thing about this one, we wanna have that oven heated to 300 degrees. Now that seems really low because we're gonna slow cook these to get that nice, good, tender flavor. We're gonna cover it with foil. We're gonna put it in that 300 degree oven and we're gonna let it cook for about 3 hours, and we're not gonna open the foil, we're not gonna move anything around, we're not gonna look at it until the end of our 3 hours, because that's what's gonna keep all of this in there gelled and meshed together. Okay, and then when we take it out, we can serve it over mashed potatoes, we can serve it over rice if you prefer egg noodles or something like that. You've got a great dish to do that with. So this is gonna be one of those fun, funky things that you're gonna put together, but it is gonna take it a little time to cook to get that good tender meat. But you didn't have to brown the meat before you put it in there. So that saved us some time at the beginning. But again, you can layer this in your crock pot and cook it on high in your crock pot for that 6 to 8 hours, or on high in your crock pot for 4 hours or so, or on low all day, 6 to 8 hours, and have the same effect. So finally, this is one of my favorite super simple things. I love lasagna. I like to make lasagna. You end up with a big, huge thing of lasagna. So this is a shortcut for that I found to be really great. My family loves it. These are, let me see, I've got all my stuff sitting here. These are your cheese-filled ravioli, pre-made. Now, if you want to purchase these, you can buy them frozen, you can buy them in the deli section. These are not exactly ready to serve. You want to boil them for about 5 minutes if you're going to use them just like this. But since we're going to bake them in something, I'm just going to take them out and use them. But instead of boiling noodles or layering noodles and mixing up my cheese spread and doing all of that stuff, I am just going to take these that are already prepared, ready for me. We're going to dump it, right? Dump them in to make a layer in my pan. So we're gonna start off with just a layer of those. And then I have a sauce together. It's just a jar of pre-made spaghetti sauce, pasta sauce, whatever the type is that you like, you can pick up and get. I usually add a little, buy a plainer one, and I add a little Italian seasoning, some garlic powder usually. For something like this, get that all mixed up in there. And then I went ahead and I browned the rest of the meat that we had from doing our pepper soup the last time and put that together to make a sauce. So then we're just gonna take that, and again, this is very reminiscent of what you would do if you were making the full-fledged lasagna. You're gonna make your layers and just put that in there. This does great in the crock pot. Layer your stuff in there and let it sit till it's cooked through and kept warm so that it's ready to go. I purchased already shredded cheese, and this one is actually Parmesan, Romano, and Asiago because it's just that Italian kind of seasoning flavor. You can use whatever you like or whatever you happen to have on hand. Or again, your ravioli is already filled with cheese. So that's something that's already there, and you don't necessarily, maybe your family's not big on the other cheeses, you don't have to add that. You can just leave that off. The other thing, sometimes I haven't been able to find the ravioli, so I have used just the cheese stuffed tortellini, which also comes out very yummy as well. So that again is part of just what your preference might be for looking at, move this over so you guys can see. That's what your preference might be for the type of pasta. So we're gonna take the rest of our meat and we are going to get that good and spread out all across our dish. So if I was doing this in the crock pot, again, I would just go ahead and layer it all together to put it in the oven, about 350. This is only gonna take 30 minutes or so to cook, similar to what we did with our others. Everything in here is pretty much cooked. We just wanna soften our pasta, melt our cheese. So we can put that in, we can wrap it in foil, we can put it in the fridge, we can cook it tomorrow when we're ready to serve it. We're gonna put it in there wrapped with the foil, 30 minutes or so, take it out, take your foil off, pop it back in there 10 to 15 minutes till it's heated through and your cheese is nice and melty. And you have a great dish to take to the potluck, to serve to your family. Again, if you have, with all of these, if you're just cooking for two, it's a great thing to have and put it in and freeze it. You can freeze it unbaked, or you can freeze portions after you've baked it. Okay, so simple things that you can put together. You can switch out your proteins, you can switch out your carb base, all of those flavors that you want to add or do that work best for your family, you can do that. But the ultimate thing is you just dump it. It saves you time. If you plan ahead, it can also save you money. Again, I'm Mindy Turner with the Curry County Cooperative Extension Service. This has been part 2 of our Dump It series, and I hope you'll join me again for part 3.